following program is intended for mature audiences.
It's the music, movies, and shows you love.
As if we care.
And hate.
You ain't gonna like it none.
And love to hate.
I didn't expect that at all.
This is The Broken Remote.
Coming to you live on tape on this Tuesday, February 18th, 2025, where we are entering a brave new world.
I see what he did there.
See what I did there? That's correct.
I see.
Give myself a round of applause. Where we are fresh off a 3-day vacation weekend.
Bring it back.
Although this one is what? This is like what is this President's Day? What was this one that we just had?
It's to celebrate Donald Trump scamming the American people out of their hard-earned money with their new money, their new cryptocurrency.
The new that's right. He opened one of those, right? So
Then Melania, now the president of Argentina. It's everywhere, dude.
And Haktua girl, she had her meme coin.
She had hers that blew up for a hot second, and now she's just. And then she did it again. By the way, they did it again. Like
she's AWOL though, right? I'm not.
No. Oh, dude. Oh, new chapter to that story.
She's back.
She was back for 5 seconds. They immediately rug pulled again.
I thought for sure I would have read about that if she was back.
Yeah. No, so they leaked like a new podcast that was supposed to be her apology tour, and apparently people bought more of the coin because like, oh, she's apologizing, it's gonna go up. And then it got rug pulled again. It got rug pulled twice, dude. And so there was this other guy that was like gonna do the apology with her, who was clearly in on part of the scam, but he didn't the people that are behind the scam are even scummier than him. So they did it earlier than they agreed upon with their, back office handshake.
Sure.
So they him too. And so he was disavowing it on Twitter or X, where the fuck it is. It is a den of snakes and ne'er-do-wells and ragamuffins, and I have got to find the way in it, is what I'm basically saying.
I went to go Google it because I'm like, how did I miss anything? And the first news story in the Google feed reads, Futurism. Haktua girl appears to have completely destroyed her life with that disastrous meme coin 3 days ago.
To be fair, she also probably has a couple $1 million in the bank, and she was like, folded paper clips like 6 months ago before she just took off. So like, did she ruin her life?
Haley Welch, that is her name. I should have known that, but I did not. But
she's a household name, dude. Yeah, you don't know Haktua girl?
I mean, Haktua, everybody knows. Haley Welch is just in the, lodged in the back of the brain cells. But where is Haley Welch? Haktua girl has completely disappeared since cryptocurrency.
More people know Haley Welch's name than their social security number, and that should not upset you. No, we should.
It's pretty normal.
Accept the void. We should accept the void that is going to soak us all into the black hole of nothingness and spit us out.
Well, I mean, oddly, funny that you say that. I mean, there are probably more people that know Haktua girl than the social security numbers because there's more social security numbers than there are people. What? Doge going out.
We only go after the hot things here. The last thing I saw about the Doge thing, dude, was the limestone cavern. Did you see that?
The limestone. Oh, yes. And I kind of didn't understand. I know who Iron Mountain is. They were all over our floor at UBS when we were there. It was all those bins. You throw all your shit in and then they burn it.
Exactly, but apparently for the government, it's a legitimate limestone cavern. They will just keep documents in.
Yeah, so that's the part that I kind of was confused about was when I was looking, because I didn't really care to dig deeper. So when I saw it online, I saw nothing but these limestone caverns, and I saw Iron Mountain. I said, okay, I know that. But that's literally what's happening. They're literally just stashing shit in the cavern.
Which is fucking awesome, because that's exactly how Smaug the dragon hid his gold in The Hobbit.
See what he did there?
Except in this case, it's all the documentation about your retirement that they have some unpaid intern just rifling through as they whip him with something, some cat and nine tails.
It's just fucking ridiculous.
Faster! I want my pension faster!
I mean, literally, this is... Now, we won't dive too much into this, but there's just so much content around it. The fact that, like, I don't want to get into too deep into Doge, but look, there's auditing done all over the goddamn place. And, like, if you want to audit somebody, like,
I don't trust Elon Musk at all, but it's also just kind of like, yeah, of course there's fraud at the government. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? People are shocked by this?
But this is the show. Like, real life right now is funnier than anything you can concoct.
Oh, no,
that
dude,
the world's richest man would basically befriend Donald Trump, who becomes president, and they go in like Batman and Robin just tearing up the establishment, which is what was supposed to happen during Trump's first run, but then Trump was stupid and clueless.
It is crazy just how, like, they are just getting away with carte blanche. That said, Elon Musk also has like a $400 million contract with the U.S. Department of Defense for armored Teslas, which is
I
just
saw that, but wasn't the pushback that Biden gave it to him?
I mean, yeah, but like if he's going to slash the budget, I don't know if he's going to be like, we don't need armored cyber trucks.
Yeah, he might leave that one alone.
He's going to be like,
he very well might.
Think about how cool it is. So if you really think about it for like 5 seconds. And
or all the SpaceX contracts, right? He'll probably leave those alone as well.
Well, to be fair, that's the only thing that's going to bring our astronauts back from space at this point. So maybe you can leave those ones. That one's probably fine considering Boeing is just shit in the bed.
True. Dude. I mean, I have come to find that there's been numerous people that I know that have been affected in one way, shape, or form by cuts that are going on in D.C. And it's just crazy because some of it I didn't know, some of it I didn't understand. And look, I'm all for efficiency, and I'm all for all of this getting rid of government we don't need and spending we don't need, and like ending all this. How many trillion did they say today was found and it was unaudited? If you were to believe the reports,
they left it under a couch. They forgot to clean under there. They were gonna get to it. Like I don't know why you're riding their ass right now.
Well, the story of that is really funny. They said that, like, basically there was policies and procedures, right?
Yeah, listen,
Will and
Phil down in accounting is having a retirement party next week. We needed the $250 to make sure everyone got a slice. Like, you really want to walk away and not have like one slice? Like, come on, like, use your head.
It's just amazing because Will and I worked in the financial in the services industry. I do not anymore. Will is tangible in some way, shape, or form, but like the auditing and the paper trails that are basically attached to everything is tenfold. Like,
we got audited all the time. I feel like we had to organize our shit constantly.
Everything had to have signatures, et cetera, et cetera. And for here to say, well, there's, I don't know how many trillion they said, that basically we can't track because when they transferred it, they just left this entire field blank. You know how many times that must have happened over and over and over again to lose how many trillions of dollars? It was like there was just something not being done.
It's more funny to me because, like, whoever was supposed to audit was like some dude with some rumpled shirt who like walked in with some Dunkin' Donuts and like some of it just fell onto his shirt while he's walking. He's like, oh,
you mean big balls?
I'm calling it. I'm going in today. I'm going back home. I don't care anymore. My day's road. It's 9 a.m. Yeah, whatever. You can do whatever you do with the auditing.
It's probably big balls, right? I guess everybody gets a kick out of that now because CNN actually said big balls on air. To which I think
big balls.
to which Musk changed his handle name to Harry Balls.
Harry Balls.
Yeah, so they had to say all this stuff on air. So it was like South Park and Howard Stern and Opie and Anthony all wrapped up into one, all on your regular TV. Honestly, you don't have to watch TV anymore. You just watch the news, and this stuff is just as good. I don't even think, to be honest, when I heard about the trillion thing, I don't even think it was somebody screwing up. I think they just were just like, yeah, you don't have to do it anymore. And they probably said that like 20 years ago. They were like, oh, yeah, what about the 2 field? Like, don't worry about that code. Yeah, it's all cool.
What, are you high? You think someone's going to look into this? Are you stupid? No. Spend another $2 million on lobster, what was it? Yeah, treadmills. Did you see that? It's like shrimp treadmills for some study. They're just throwing like $2 million. They're like, yep, that's cool. Why not?
Yeah, it's so. All right, but before we continue in that.
I was going to say, I mean, on the government budget, that's nothing. But also just makes you go like, what the fuck did you spend on this? Like, someone's job was to be in some room, and the Pentagon's like, I'm gonna weaponize shrimp however I fucking can.
I would love if there was someday a full inventory of where all of these, I don't know, quote unquote questionable dollars went. Because sure, you're just getting what they're giving you, but I would love to know the full litany of it because there's something ridiculous that you haven't even heard of, more ridiculous than what you haven't heard of, and some of it I don't believe in. Like I don't know the comic book in Pakistan about transgenderism.
Who
I don't
knows?
think that exists.
Some of that's ridiculous. I mean, one of it's going to be like the weaponized pet rock initiative or something like that. That's got like $20 million, I'm sure, behind it. You're just going to go like, what are you doing? It's like, yeah, we're taking pet rocks, get people attached to them, and then we kill them. Yeah.
These things, they were big. You remember them? Pet rocks. Got a new idea. Here's how we do it. Well, but anyway, before we digress, you want to talk about the government. The MCU government, see what I did there?
As a segue.
Has had a whole transformation into one colossal shitty movie.
It was a movie. It did exist.
It was a movie. And of course, we're talking about, where's my drum roll? That's the...
I'll do it.
Captain America, Brave New
World.
Which came out this weekend.
You know what caught me off about this movie, Rich? That they were so subtle about in the marketing and I never knew it was going to happen.
Oh, okay. I have my own thoughts, but go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't realize the Red Hulk was going to be in this. They never marketed it at all. Yeah, they never brought it up.
I caught it at the very last minute. I said, you know what? I think he's turning red.
Dude, I walked in the movie theater. There was more Red Hulk stuff in there than there was Captain America stuff.
Are you kidding me or no?
Everywhere there was Red Hulk stuff in the movie theater we went to. It was just Harrison Ford's bloated face.
Okay, well, first, you went to a theater that had people in it?
It had people. I mean, it was a Monday, but it had people.
I went on a Sunday. It was me, my father-in-law, my two kids, and...
How is it doing at the box office?
Two other people. Two. Not one, but a whopping two people in the theater other than us. 6 tickets total. 3D, mind you.
3D. I mean, it technically beat its budget compared to the box office.
I think the highlight for me during the movie was the line where Harrison Ford is doing his confessional on the aircraft carrier to whatever.
Because I was dying.
Sam Wilson. Yes, before he's dying. And then he looks at him and he goes, and what the hell is the leader's name? They don't call him a leader in this, but he's like Sam
Wilson?
Stan Wilson.
Wait, who are you talking about?
The main bad guy, not Sam Wilson. No, leader's name in this. They don't call him leader, but he was Mr. Blue.
Drugs, dude.
Mr. Blue from the Incredible Hulk, which we have to talk about the relationship.
I was gonna say Samuel Stearns, another Sam.
Samuel Stearns, that's it, right? So that's the confusion. So and
Tim Blake, that's his name.
Tim Blake, and he's talking about Samuel Stearns, and he goes, and Stearns was just collateral damage. And I hear out of the corner my father-in-law goes, "Ugh, are you kidding me?" And I was just like, fuck, dude. I can't. I'm so sorry to torture you with this movie with my children.
You say that. I mean, so I think we clearly have the same scene in mind. That is not the part that bothered me about that scene. The part in that exact same scene that annoyed me. And I think we should do a synopsis of the movie in a second. But it's when Sam Wilson just goes, "It wasn't my friend who tried to kill you, Mr. President." Then who was it? It was mind control. Their minds are being controlled by someone else. And you're just going,
well,
really? You couldn't have said that in a better way. Like, come on.
I mean, right there, that's the money thought, because that applies to this entire goddamn script. The dialogue is so bad.
That's what was crazy too, by the way. Is like this went through 4 reshoots, and for some reason they couldn't get like a better script writer for some of those bits. Apparently they had to reshoot it because it was too slow. But like,
I could definitely imagine being too slow. the way it came across, the way it came out after the reshoots, it was still slow.
Okay,
The middle of that movie was, oh fuck, man, kick me in the balls.
I'm gonna do a plot synopsis. So basically, for anyone that is somewhat paying attention to how the fuck this MCU has been going since Endgame, because let's be honest, no one cares about it nearly as much anymore.
And they shouldn't.
The Falcon, Sam Wilson, he is now
was the Falcon.
America. He was the Falcon. There is, I guess, from some other movie called The Eternals. There's like some gigantic alien coming out of the Earth.
Yes, which I believe is called a Celestial,
Yeah,
but
it's a
I've
Celestial.
never seen that. So
They were in Guardians of the Galaxy. That's like what those that giant skull planet they were on. It's apparently, I guess, they live in the Earth or something. I don't know. I don't care about the lore. I'm gone. I'm done with it.
Nor do I.
Regardless, there's like a dead one coming out of the Earth. And in its body is like all these cool minerals and shit, including adamantium, because they got the rights to it.
And you know what that means? X-Men! X-Men! You get an X-Men! And you get an X-Men! And you get an X-Men!
Wolverine! The Wolverine's coming in, boys. Which means that Marvel got the rights to say adamantium after 20 years. Congratulations, Kevin Feige.
And I think it was you that told me about what vibranium was, because originally I had no clue what vibranium was.
Vibranium is literally, so vibranium, which is what Captain America's shield, all that stuff that they're using like Wakanda in the movies, that's what adamantium was supposed to be.
Exactly.
Originally. Except they had to do some very heavy rewrites because they did not have the legal right to say it. Regardless. So New Metal, it's supposed to be a political drama where it's America versus Japan and who's going to get control of this new metal, and then it's get a little bit of political intrigue, and all the while there's this evil guy behind the scenes manipulating events to occur to try and drive the president just a little more angry or red than he typically is. Until next time.
Hulk smash!
And the whole movie is honestly, it's I don't know how I would explain it. I think it's sequel to The Incredible Hulk from 2008.
Oh, for sure. That right there is number one.
And also a worse version of The Winter Soldier, which I did really like. And that's what I think this movie is. It's just,
oh man, I wouldn't even come close to putting it with The Winter Soldier. I really like The Winter Soldier.
I know, but it's come on, it's his friend gets mind controlled by some code word to try to kill someone, and all of a sudden,
well, to that point, yes. Not only is the mind control there, but I mentioned
Soldier
this.
did it better. Winter's clearly it did it better
For sure.
But, it's clearly trying to reach the same thing.
But I mentioned this yesterday. Also, isn't there a little bit of Avengers 1 shithole crazy Loki plot in there?
A little bit, yeah, where he's trying to drive them crazy or whatever.
Well, they say, okay, if you think back to Avengers 1 and what the plot was supposed to be, or Loki's plot, it was to get everybody on board the Hellcarrier and then make the Hulk really angry, turn into the Hulk, and then destroy the whole plane. That was the plan. That was his
goal.
Basically, right. And then there's this other plan of having alien beings invade New York City that was never really talked about. So in this one,
sort of happened. It was cool,
right? And so in this one, it was what was Sam, the second Sam, the leader. I'm going to call him Sam, whatever his name was. You just said it. Do you remember what it was?
Just call him Brain Guy.
Okay.
Just call him Brain Guy.
So Brain Guy.
It doesn't matter.
So in this one, Brain Guy has what do you call Esposito? What the hell is that? Giancarlo Esposito?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
I'm just calling him Gus Fring. He has Gus Fring go and capture adamantium, but at the same time, I guess alerts Captain America and the new Falcon, because the old Falcon is Captain America, so they need a new Falcon. So they go in and they save the adamantium, so everything's okay.
Ooh, he did it.
And that results in them getting a ticket to the White House, which the leader wanted them to do because the leader knew that they were friends with a super soldier the same
Who he would
super
bring along.
shoulder he had already brainwashed. So getting
No,
him,
he brainwashed him right before the party. That's what the phone flashing thing was. Which
I
is just
thought he must have brainwashed him
That's
before
what I thought.
that.
No, apparently it was during the party when he looks at his phone. There's like a scene where like the phone flickers and that's him getting brainwashed. Apparently,
Yeah, but I thought that had to have been. Oh, so that's not based on something that was pre-planted in their heads?
It was literally they looked at their phone. There was a series of flashing images, and somehow that conveyed "kill the president," which is just like.
I thought it was something pre-planned. But even at that, why would he need to invite that guy? I guess because he's a super serum. So anyway, and then that was the plan. And then the plan was to try to shoot the president, who, if you follow comics and you know Thunderbolt Ross and you have seen a Red Hulk, you know that they're one and the same. Mm-hmm. So the plan was to get him to shoot at President Ross and turn him into the Hulk in front of everybody to see and ruin his life.
The issue with the villain, dude, like the villain's whole concept is he is so smart he can predict the future down to probabilities. Which, by the way, they say the word treaty and probability probably 4 billion times in this movie. There is no word that is said more often in this fucking movie than treaty and probability.
Yeah, it is pretty ridiculous. They did. I mean, the guy was talking, and I'm just like,
boring.
You're the worst bad guy ever.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to kill us. You're going to kill us with
79% rate that you would just drop the case if I brought your friend into this. That's not that high. Like, that's still a solid chance he's going to get involved. You kept like this movie, dude.
He kept talking about it, though. Mm-hmm. Everything. He kept giving you stats. And he kept trying to say things in statistical ways.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, I don't fucking care. I don't care.
It was a classic case, dude, of like when someone says, oh, he's a super genius, that it comes across that you are only as smart as your smartest writer in the room. And what that script told me, dude, was your smartest writer isn't that fucking smart. Just saying the word probability annoyed me more than like in the new Marvel movies. Like, I just solved time travel when Tony Stark said that, or like with the nanoparticulate machines, we can actually go back and reverse the quantum field energy. And just like, you're just saying bullshit. Like,
right. None of it makes sense.
Can you stop for 4 seconds? It's annoying.
And I get it's a comic book movie. It doesn't have to make sense. I'm not stupid. But I've got to be able to suspend disbelief to at least believe I'm in a comic book. This was fucking so whacked.
Okay,
whacked.
I'm going to talk about this real quick. Like, the whole movie, like a big crux for the new Captain America is that he has not taken the super soldier serum, what made, like, you know, Captain America have, like, super strength and durability.
Go on this. I got thoughts.
And the whole movie, he's like, sometimes I feel like I should take that serum. They're like, you don't need the serum because you give people hope. And it's like, you don't need the serum for that reason. It's like, you say that, but like, he has a suit that's basically Iron Man's suit at this point with wings. And you can do infinitely more with this suit than the original Captain America could. Like, the original Captain America was like, he was strong and more durable. But he just was like, he just kind of kicked ass. Like, that was his power.
Right.
Like, he didn't do any of this overtly fancy shit. And the whole movie, like, you got a lot to live up to. But, like, you don't need this serum. It's like, at this point, you basically have it with the fucking vibranium Iron Man armor. Maybe just take it. Like, I feel like it completely defeats the purpose of what they're going for with him having this super suit.
Yeah, Captain America isn't Captain America if he's Iron Man. Then he's Iron Man.
Yeah, then he's Iron Man. It just has an American motif at this point.
This Captain America is fucking Iron Man.
Yeah.
And not only is he Iron Man, he's a stupid Iron Man. Why? Because he has a mask, if you have not seen it, but it goes on when it flies, and then it disappears
and then
at random.
Takes it off. It does that nanotech thing.
It does the nanotech thing.
I hate that in all the movies, dude. It's like, in the first Iron Man movie, you could feel how heavy the original suit was. It looked so cool.
It looked awesome.
And then in Endgame, and I liked Endgame, but the new Iron Man suit is clearly just like green screened onto Robert Downey Jr. And it's all
bullshit.
It's not nearly. It looks fucking lame.
Go rewatch the first Iron Man, and the suit itself looks awesome.
It looks awesome.
Right?
Even the second one, dude, that sucked. There was that whole cool scene where like they have to bring a briefcase around, so he has like a mobile suit on, which was Like, that movie was kind of bad, but, like, that was fucking cool.
Right. But over the years, then the suit, because they made it nanotechnology and all
Which
this,
I hate. I hate that shit.
Then it just became, a CGI Iron Man. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, fine with it, okay, I get it. But if you watch the first couple, you always go back to, man, that looks fucking awesome. It's like puppeteering in sci-fi movies instead of CGI.
Half the first movie is just watching him put that suit together, and it's the coolest thing. Like, that is the best part of the first movie, is just watching him fuck around with the technology. And then he's like, you know what? Spray paint it fire engine red. You're like, hell yeah.
Right.
That's fucking cool. I'm totally here for this. Meanwhile, this new one, you're just like, okay, I guess this has wings that can cut anything in half.
So,
got it.
Okay, now let's get to the wings, okay? These wings, which
can do everything.
Not only can do everything,
literally can do everything.
Well, I guess yes. I'm saying that they. I'm going to say something that they can do, and they can do everything, so it makes sense. But they can somehow expand, contract, bend, however you need it to be. I mean, I guess the vanishing stuff is the same as the helmet technology, but it never does that. Dude.
Yeah.
Whenever they need to go away, they actually seem to fold, into themselves.
Into this tiny little backpack thing.
And then go into a backpack, right? And then when he doesn't need them, they all of a sudden magically fly out and they're gigantic.
And then he has these 2 drones that do literally everything for him the whole movie. It's like, hey, I need you to hack this computer, cut us a hole, make me an omelet, go to the mall, pick up my kids, and also solve this dumb shit movie. But here's the thing. I did not think the movie was overtly that bad, but it just got the Marvel problem. Like, every issue I had with this movie is just every issue with Marvel right now. Just, like, so much more visible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's been problems with Marvel movies throughout the whole thing. I'm
talking myself into liking this movie less as we're going through this.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
You should. It was really not good. But I was able to put it all in the... Like, if you rewatch Avengers 1, it's not a good movie. Right? Like the sets look kind of shitty. The costumes look kind of shitty. The plot makes no sense. Like, it was just putting the Avengers together. You'd never seen it before, so you were like, wow, it's awesome. But if you go back and look at it now, you're like, this movie kind of sucks. Right? So there's been issues throughout. But I was like, they're going to put the Infinity Gauntlet on. They're going to have, the Infinity War, and then they're going to come back, and it's going to be awesome. And to be honest, it was.
It was like a fun level of camp, though, which is why I liked it. Like, it was just so dumb. It was like a fun way.
But in the end, it was like, okay, and there were some hits along the way. Like Winter Soldier, I thought was a really good movie, right? I loved Iron Man 1. I thought that was great. There was hits along the way. They weren't all shitty. And then ever since Endgame, because they don't have this fun meta story to tell, or at least they don't know how to get there. I don't know if it's going to be Kang anymore, or it's going to be Doomsday, or the Doomsday plotline, or Secret Wars. I mean, who the fuck knows anymore? But without that to tell, they're just kind of telling random stories, and it feels like at the end they're like, you know what? We'll just weave them together, just like we did with Captain America: Brave New World, when they tried to like pull back Incredible Hulk from 2008. Was it 2008?
That was dude. I looked it up. It was 2008, which at the time, I thought it was a fun movie, but it's also bananas that this movie, I feel like they just kind of wrote off and are just slowly trickling things back into just became
17 years later.
It's
17.
I remember watching that in 2008, dude, seeing the Hulk blood drip in the guy's brain. You're like, wow, I can't wait for the sequel for this movie in like 2-3 years. And then you're like, oh, I didn't know I would have to basically, go to fun. Like, from the time that happened, dude, I could have started high school already. I'd be in my sophomore, junior year right now. Yep. I'd be applying for colleges, okay, when that movie
It took so long, William Hurt died.
I know, that's right.
He didn't even make it.
That's how they recast him.
He didn't even make it to the pseudo-sequel.
He waited so long just to become Red Hulk that they killed him off.
And they killed him off. He didn't even get the fucking payoff. He's like, oh, I just get to be Thunderbolt Ross, fucking Betty's dad.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. I just rigged off another part.
By the way, Liv Tyler. Oh, my. Well, first off,
no, hold on. We can't get to her yet. Yes, we are going to get to her.
Okay.
But, this is a sequel from fucking 17 years ago, and now you want us to remember and care about anybody in this goddamn movie, and that's the problem with these movies. They're just not connected. They're not connected to anything. I don't care. So when you think about this movie, what was the plot of this movie? It was Sam Wilson is the new the new Captain America, and the leader wants to make Thunderbolt Ross
treaty. We gotta make
red.
a treaty.
Well, no, that's right. President Ross wants a treaty, and leader wants to embarrass Thunderbolt Ross because he made him work for free in a dungeon and never gave him freedom. And that was the movie. And so now and this is why I want to wait just a hot second. So what happens in the climax of the movie, right? Red Hulk gets really mad.
Finally, yeah.
Starts breaking shit.
Mm-hmm. Which is, by the way, the single coolest part of the movie. I will be honest. I missed the Hulk, like that Hulk energy where he's just this violent monster that no one can stop. That shit's badass.
Was a super cool 5 minutes of the movie, or 10, or whatever it was.
And I did not realize how much I despised Smart Hulk and that part of Avengers Endgame until that moment. I did not realize how much this defeats the point of this character. Like, he's supposed to be like the werewolf thing.
And instead, it's like,
I'm going to hand you this enchilada real quick. Is that cool? I mean, it's like, fuck off, Mark Ruffalo. God damn it.
And they did it off camera. We talked about this when we talked about those movies, but they did it off camera. Like, they did that. Remember, he went from Green Hulk to Bruce Banner, who would never change. And then all of a sudden, he went from Bruce Banner, who could never change, to Gray Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Smart Hulk.
Just like,
and it was like,
okay,
well, when?
cool.
Why? What happened? He was like, oh, well, I got together with the other guy, and we made an agreement, or whatever the fuck it was. It was like, what? Come on. It's stupid.
It's like, I feel like you don't understand why we liked this character, because now it's stupid. And now he's in She-Hulk, and yay.
So they do this make good by giving you Red Hulk, and that was a cool 5-10 minutes of the movie sure.
What a 5 minutes it was, dude.
It was awesome.
I'm so glad they didn't peg all the marketing on it. That'd been a real shame.
But now Leader he's in like the past. He's like in the back burner. Nobody gives a shit about Leader. He's out of there. Gus Fring, whose name in this movie is Sidewinder, he's out of the picture. Nobody cares about him anymore. So it's been leading up to this.
Which, by the way, can we agree the whole Sidewinder thing, that was definitely one of the reshoots, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
There was no way that wasn't. Which, by the way, for those who don't know, so this movie, they say it cost like about $200 million to make. This movie went through reshoots about 4 times. Reshoots are one of the most expensive fucking things you can do for a movie, because you basically get all the cast and crew back together and say, we got to add new scenes because we fucked up because the test screenings didn't go well. They did this 4 times before this got released.
Right. So, and according to the stories, if you want to believe them, they did so because the initial audience was like, this movie's boring as shit. And, we don't give a shit about any of it. That's a lot of shit for one sentence. But they have to go reshoot it, and I guess they come up with hiring, I think his last name is Esposito, right? They hire Gus Fring.
He's a great bad guy. Throw him in there.
There. Right. Now, if you're him, I guess, like, every Hollywood actor now is just taking the Marvel
paycheck.
check.
Okay, Harrison Ford's 82 years old. You think he's doing this for his health? No, he's doing this for the paycheck.
He blatantly said it, too. He was everybody else is doing it, so I'll do it, too.
Yeah, it's a fat paycheck. Harrison Ford, Marvel means you're going to get, like, some free work for the next couple of years. There's actors that were in movies 20 years ago, dude, that are all of a sudden getting called back to stage to be in some TV show about Iron Man's dry cleaner or something like that.
Right. So, and this is now built up to the very end of the movie. This is where I was driving at. It's Red Hulk. He is breaking DC. Everything. He's just destroying the town. He's destroying the White House. It is uncontrollable. The audience knows how badass Green Hulk was and how strong it was and how you could never control him, and you just had a hope that he just stopped, and he never did. And you had the Avengers there to try to control him, and you also tried to use Scarlet Witch at one point to mind control him, and then Black Widow would try to talk him off a ledge, and then he would break more shit. And in the comic books, he was so badass they had to shoot him off to Scar, and then Sakaar, and then he came back to America and crushed everybody.
Yeah.
So the Hulk is a badass dude, and here's a red one, and he's just tearing shit up. And how are we going to get rid of him? How are we going to beat him?
Let's talk about his daughter.
Oh my God!
Hey everybody, there's a shit cloud coming!
Are you fucking retarded?
That's exactly what he is.
There was a lot in a row.
Oh my God!
I like the ending scene. Even my girlfriend was like, dude, that last scene of the cherry blossoms looked fake as hell. Like, you could see it was a green screen. I was like, yeah, I can't even argue with that. It's so accurate.
But Betty, that's what we're going to do. We're going to say her name Betty, and then all of a sudden it's going to register with Red Hulk.
You'll get nothing and like it.
That's exactly what we got. Nothing. It was awful. It was so bad. I walked out of the movie, and I couldn't curse around my kids, but I wanted to. Betty.
It was just...
Remember Betty.
Yeah, this movie... It didn't, like, I like Anthony Mackie. I want him to do well as Captain America, but, like, this movie was just... It's every comic book series, dude. There's a point where there's just so much fat on the bone, and you just have to be like, what's happening? I had to do homework for this, and I have to, like, pay attention. Like, it gets annoying how much I have to pay attention to and just how far removed it is from some phase of reality that it annoys me. And it's when they've clearly jumped the shark. And Marvel's just clearly there at this point.
Oh, wait. They jumped the shark, 80 million podcasts ago from us.
Yeah. I mean, that said, DC is apparently, like, the way James Gunn is apparently handling it, he's like, no, fuck you. We're jumping right into jumping the shark with the new Superman movie. There's going to be Crypto the dog. And there's something about that I kind of respect. Like, maybe you can put... It's
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure.
We're going to see with that movie, but it's like the opposite of Marvel, where now, like, for Marvel, there's too much. It feels like I'm drowning. For DC, they're just like, no, of course there's wacko shit going on. You expect us to think that you're paying attention to all of it? No, just accept that there's weirdo wacko, and you're good. So we'll see if he pulls that off, but I'm assuming that's what he's going for. And for some reason with Marvel, it annoys me, dude. I cannot stand the nanotechnology. I cannot stand I can't take the serum. I don't need it to be great. I just need this incredibly advanced high-tech vibranium suit that can do literally everything. And this might be as good. Yeah.
But I never thought that Marvel would run out of ways to write scripts that they had to steal something from Zack Snyder.
That was funny.
Right? That it was like, Betty. And it was like, oh, wait. Oh, they did that with Martha. Martha. What'd you say? Martha. Huh? Our moms are the same name. Ugh.
That makes it okay. It's just...
So what are you going to do to control the uncontrollable? Why don't you say a mother's name or a daughter's name? Perfect. That's exactly what the audience wants to see.
I mean, the moment you saw those pills in the first scene and he's Red Hulk, you're like, that's what makes him Red Hulk, 100%. Like, the moment the first scene came up, dude, I was like, yep, and that is why he's become Red Hulk. Those pills that they clearly just shot a scene of him taking.
Yeah, okay. So let's do it this way. Let's remove all of the people with comic book knowledge, right, that go into that movie. You'd have to say, okay, remove the people that have seen the commercials, because if you've seen the commercials, Red Hulk's coming.
That would have been so cool if and granted, it's the marketing team who probably is like, no, we're including him in every single shot of the marketing. Are you kidding me? Of course this is what's going to sell tickets, which is fair. But, like, if you didn't know, dude.
But if you didn't know and you went in there and you tried to watch it from the beginning, couldn't you peg every single key plot point?
If I didn't know about Red Hulk, I would assume something was happening. But the thing is, you'd have to be such a Marvel nerd, dude, to know that like who some of these characters were. Because once again, if this was a movie from 5 years ago, okay, I can remember who Stearns is, and even though they reclassed dead Bill Hurt, I can surmise it's the same character. But this is just getting ridiculous with just how much they expect you to kind of keep in your noggin. I'm going to say it this way. I think the movie, and I know we're going to differ on this, and I've been shitting on it for a while. I still think the movie was okay. I just think Marvel is just filled with nonsense.
It is now chock full of nonsense. I agree with you there. I don't know if the movie was not as bad as the worst reviews that I had heard. It was tolerable. Barely tolerable, but it was tolerable. I will never watch it again. If I watch anything, it'll be the last 15 minutes with the Red Hulk.
I like the plane scene when he surfed the missile. That was so stupid.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Terrible.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I sit by the rule of cool. That was my 8-year-old self was like, "That's fucking badass."
Fuck! I forgot that he surfed the missile.
That was I'm sorry. We're gonna disagree on this. I thought that was awesome.
Oh my god, he did surf a missile.
It was so stupid, but in such a cool way that I'm there for it.
So in the, I guess the second half of the middle of the movie, approaching
like last,
end of
like
the
right
second
before the
third.
Yeah, right before the main climax.
Right, the end of Act 2. They're in, I don't know what ocean, but it's Japan versus America battling over the Celestial Island, and it's all due to leader programming and brainwashing pilots randomly and by playing a song. I forgot what the name of the song, but it's an oldies song from like the 60s or 50s. And he plays a song and flashes lights, and all of a sudden these guys are programmed. So all of a sudden we're on the brink of war. And they start firing missiles out Japan at American ships. And of course, Captain America and the new Falcon go out to dismantle all these fucking missiles. There might be 10 or some shit. And they've got every tool possible. Falcon shooting shit out of his arm. They have everything that they need. They're not Iron Man. They're just Falcon and Captain America, but they have all Iron Man tech. And so, obviously, one of these missiles gets away from them, and they don't have anything left that they could stop it with. So Captain America, because he can fly too. I mean, he's still the Falcon, even though he's like Captain America Falcon now. He ends up pushing the fucking rocket into the ocean, surfing it like a surfboard, in which case, does it go under or it blows up before the aircraft carrier? I think it blows up before it a little bit, right?
Yeah, like just before.
And so he surfs the big wave like a kahuna and saves the day. And President Ross is saved, and that's that. So, but yeah, it was, I mean, that literally was kind of like jumping the shark.
It literally was, because he basically jumped a missile instead in space.
He surfed a missile instead of a shark. So it was terrible. It really was a terrible feat in movie history.
It was. I was getting fly by the rule of cool. That was so stupid. It was fun for me, so I liked it. But
wow.
I mean, I
forgot about it until you brought it up.
I know, it's just one of those things, dude. But here's the other thing: like, there were some parts of the movie I really thought were going to be like more wow factory. Like, so the whole movie, the main bad guy, his whole thing is he flashes lights and it like sends some signal to a person's brain that lets him like basically mind control them when they hear some song as like an activator for like some secret spy thing.
You gotta do it like Jesse's Body Ventura.
In one scene,
mind control.
In one of the scenes, they're in like his bunker, like investigating his lab, and then he leaves and he like sends all these like soldiers to fight them with tasers and stuff. And like the lights in the room are flashing the whole time. So when that happened, I was like, oh, that's so smart. He lured them there so he could mind control Captain America and his friend. And then he's going to use them like later in the movie. Or like maybe like Captain America will be fine because he'll take the serum or something like that. That's what I was expecting to happen. Clearly, dude, I had way too much faith in those writers, because apparently that just went nowhere. And those were just flashing lights to be flashing lights, not like what they had already established his like ability or technology could do.
Right, and I don't understand why only certain people, and this goes to my thought process that there were people that he
just
that were tangible to him.
Yeah, he was just like
pre-programmed them to be taken over. Otherwise, why couldn't he do it to just anybody?
I mean, he was just literally like, "Oh, Jim's going to the White House. I just saw this on his LinkedIn. Oh, and Frank over here, he's a pilot for the U.S. Navy. Oh, flying the exact thing I need. I'm going to send him this text real quick, and bingo. All right, easy peasy, easy game."
And I know that it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we've got to stop thinking about technology. But the fact that any technology that they need at any given time is just readily available, right? Like anytime they need something, it's there, and it's like don't worry about it.
It's the worst part about Wakanda, dude. Is like basically have future space planet on Earth.
Right.
It's like no, it's an isolationist nation. Of course, they have technology that can be like. It's like, do you know how dumb this sounds? Like, sorry, this is annoyingly stupid.
And then at the end of the movie, Sam Wilson, Captain America, is talking to the new Falcon, Jacques Torres, I think his name is.
Whatever his name is, yeah.
And they're talking, and they're just talking about like, oh yeah, well, can't Wakanda give me an upgrade here, and can't Wakanda give me an upgrade there? And it's like, okay, so I guess Wakanda's now the new Tony Stark, but they're not going to hold the stuff close to the vest. They're just going to upgrade people all the time. It's just, like you said, it's a lot to remember. There's a lot of callbacks.
It's like if a nation was Batman, dude. It's just like, yes. Yeah, of course they have. They got money.
Right.
Yeah, screw it.
There's just nothing that seems special anymore. So as they keep throwing all this stuff at you, like, why would anybody care? Because there's going to be somebody in the crew that can do it.
Yeah, and then there's just like the nanotech bullshit, which is what annoys me so much. It removes like the special it factor of their suits because it feels like they can just get repaired instantly. Like when Iron Man's suit got busted up, I'm going to keep using him as an example. Like you felt it. Like you could see like the shattered metal. And like you knew, like this wasn't something that like he could click a button and then it was just going to dissolve away again. Like he had to go to the lab. This was going to take a while to fix. He gets stabbed with a hatchet, dude, in this movie, and he just walks it off, and he has no.
Oh my God! What was the explanation for that?
He had like Kevlar. He had
Kevlar undergarments, right?
Yeah, which of course we all do. We all naturally have our natural. I hope you're wearing it, Rich, just in case. You never know what's going to happen.
Even if he had it, why would he wear it? Like, why would he wear it all over the place? Like, he was just driving a car. It's like, well, I'm Captain America, so I got to put on my Kevlar undies and my Kevlar, my body shirt or whatever. I couldn't figure that out because I was like, hold on. He got stabbed, like, right in the fucking chest. Like, that would have went into basically his lung. And then the hatchet would have hurt him just as bad. And then all of a sudden...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I've never been stabbed with a hatchet. I don't imagine it feels good. I'm just going to say,
he got stabbed in the chest, dude. Like, right here. Like, that's going into your goddamn heart. Like, no, it was on the other side. So it was going into his lung. But it was just like, he just like took it. And then he fought the whole rest of the fight with it. And then on top of it, he's not a super soldier. He's just a fucking dude. It would be like me. He's just a dude.
With a very expensive, way more powerful suit than what the serum could have done. Let's be perfectly clear.
And I think that's also part of why Sam Wilson, Captain America, stinks. He's just a dude. Right? So, like, he'd be dead at this point. With all the gunfire that went, there was nothing that hit any other part of his body. It all hit his wings or his fucking shield.
Which I guess was part of it. I mean, but it's just like, I don't know. Some of it was just, I don't know. I feel like the movie would have been fine. It's just the Marvel effect, dude. There's just too much fat on this sandwich at this point. And I'm just like, can I get to the meat? Like, that's what I'm here for. It's just instead I'm getting all this homework that I got to follow with. It's like superpowers that are just so undefined at this point. And you're just kind of making this, they're trying to make it a political drama, dude. And they're like, they don't even have the balls to say China. And the whole time you're like, yeah.
God, they made it Japan of all places.
Yeah, relations with Japan and India, the two countries that we're basically half the military for. They're not so hot.
I just remembered the phone call. Continue. I'll go back.
Oh, phone call. Oh, be angry, Harrison Ford. Yeah, be mad.
The fucking political leader phone call.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, my God. So they do this phone call, and it's with Harrison Ford and a leader from India and a leader from New Delhi was one, and I can't remember where the other one was. I don't think it was England. I think it was another random fucking country. But I know New Delhi was one, right? And they have this phone call that is supposed to be like world leaders. And they're just, I mean, it's like they're reading cue cards from SNL. It's just so terrible. Like their expressions are awful. And you're like, this is not like, not that anything MCU is believable, but this is terrible. This is like comedically bad. It really is. It's like the worst 80s and 90s movies you could think of. And it's just the same kind of acting. But anyway, I forgot about that leader scene. That was another one. And not leader, the character. These are leaders of the free world. And they needed Japan. That's what they needed.
Japan is who they needed, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, they needed all that Nintendo money. Make sure they could really get this in there.
Well, they needed Japan because these guys didn't believe the president if he couldn't prove that he was still boys with his allies. That's what they needed. They needed assurance that the U.S. was still, king shit, and to do so, they needed to be one with their allies. So that was another side mission. But there's just too many missions. There's just too many side missions. The whole thing is just freaking ridiculous. I can't take it. And going back, and you just said it before, and it related to what I was talking about. If you just went into this movie with no knowledge of anything, would it be a good movie? And I think the answer is just a flat no.
The way I think we talked about this on text, dude, and it's just like this movie is. I mean, I was expecting something much worse, but it felt like a flat Sprite. Like at its core, like yes, there's a lot of issues I've been highlighting here, but it's not offensive.
Drinkable.
But you drink it. You drinking a what? Why? And then you're just like, well, it's not that bad, and you just keep going at it. It's like that is what this movie was to me.
Still lemon lime. It's a little sugary.
Yeah. Listen,
it's flat, but
it's not as good. It's not what I wanted. There's a little bit more water in there than we're like from the melted ice, and you're just not thrilled with it. But you're like, okay, this will do. In a pinch, this is fine.
Yeah, I mean, I sat through it. I wouldn't see it again. I'd watch the ending on TV if it was on again. I don't think my kids hated my oldest son who is.
Oh, he didn't like it either?
Oh, my God. He is 13. He's going to be 14 in a couple of months. And he went out and he was like, it was just so damn bad. I was like, and I did not prompt it. I was sitting opposite him and he walked out and he was just like,
it was so bad. It was so boring, Dad. Yes. Why, boring. Dad? Why?
He said it was boring, and he said the dialogue was laughably bad.
The mind control part, dude. That part was just like, are you for real? Like, really?
Well, President Ross
mind
screaming,
control.
"Oh, Sam's collateral damage."
That's collateral.
Like, oh God, collateral damage. Saying Betty, remember Betty? Oh, that was it.
Harrison Ford has really just like I want to love him because of his resume, but man, his last couple of years, dude, it's kind of like, do you need the paycheck, Harrison? Like, is it that bad at home? Like, what's going on? Like, you can't just.
I don't know if you watch Shrinking. It works in Shrinking, but it's only because he's supposed to be that guy.
Like, I feel you got it right. He's. I don't think Harrison Ford has like range. I'm gonna say it.
He never did. Right? I mean, he's always just playing Indiana Jones in different manners, right?
Yeah, so exactly.
It's Indiana Jones as president. Indiana Jones as a space pirate.
It's always
Indiana
been some
Jones
version of. It's always just Han Solo. It's just maybe a little more or less affable in certain versions.
Right. One way or the other, it's still always him. And you know what would be funny? I think I'm going to go around. Anytime I get into a fight with somebody or an argument with somebody, I'm just going to scream Betty in their face.
Betty.
And people are going to look at me like, what the fuck are you talking? I'm going to be, Betty. Yeah. Betty.
That's how you get sent to a farm upstate. That's going to happen real quick.
It might work against me. Yeah. I'm going to say that
who's named Betty? Are you talking to someone born from the 1960s? That's my favorite part, dude, is all these names are like from like popular in the 1960s or whenever these characters are originally written. Find me one woman named Betty right now. I have not seen that in years.
Well, it would be funny if I started screaming that, and then all of a sudden it was like I bumped into somebody whose like girlfriend or wife was named Betty. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I just get knocked the fuck out because.
What do you know about my wife? What do you know about
What do
my
you
wife?
mean? It was a joke. Captain America, Brave New World. Oh yeah, really? Fuck you.
No one watched that movie. Punches the
Think I believe in that motherfucker? How do you know Betty? I knew she was a cheating whore.
You know what the saddest part was? I genuinely was excited for the Thunderbolts after watching that trailer. That did look fun, but that also looked like they were doing literally everything that like they got rid of all the nanotech. No one could fly or have ridiculous powers. It was just like Suicide Squad, but they were actual heroes with like trying to do the right thing, but they just fucked up.
Well,
That's
now
what it seemed like to me.
I hear you. I agree. Here is my question now, where I'm bothered. Fucking Red Hulk is in Thunderbolts. Like yeah, he's part of the Thunderbolts. Right? He's part of the Thunderbolts. So, or at least
but
he was, or whatever.
he's really expensive though, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to put him in this movie.
But that's what I'm saying. So now, but I know from the comic books, not that I read them, but I follow comic books.
Well, it's named after him, right? Isn't it named after him?
I mean, it would make sense, but I don't know. He's Thunderbolt Ross, but I mean, it could be. But I know that Red Hulk is in the Thunderbolts. And here's the Thunderbolts movie. We just saw Red Hulk. You would think that he is in the movie. Now, they've given you so much of Thunderbolts in previews and clips, and there is no Red Hulk. And I wonder if, like, their whole, like, we got you.
This is where their marketing is.
This is where the marketing gets pulled.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The marketing team at Marvel is very well known for their restraint.
It'd be good, though. I mean,
it would.
Although, now that you've seen him, I wonder if anybody would give a shit, right? It'd probably be a cameo, right? At the end of the movie, weren't expecting him. Nobody talked about him, and he comes through at the end.
I still stand by the biggest, one of the biggest cheers I've ever heard in a movie theater, dude, was in the 2008 Hulk movie. When Hulk finally in the movie goes, Hulk smash! And literally everyone in the movie theater just erupted into applause. I stand by that. If you just do some of that dumb shit, it's like when Captain America picked up Mjolnir in Endgame.
Yes.
Everyone lost their mind. Like if Red Hulk showed up to fuck shit up, I think people would be there for it.
But I think that if you did a good movie that maybe wasn't
whoa.
comic book, a good movie that maybe wasn't comic book accurate, but along the way you threw in those couple of comic book moments or lines or whatever it was,
Kapow,
people
bam,
would dig it.
Ding,
you know,
bow, ooh.
You either do that or you do like straight fan homage that the fans would just do backflips for, and that's basically what Deadpool and Wolverine is, right? But you can't. I don't know. You can't.
Except in the background, you have Deadpool supporting Lady Pool in her giant ongoing war against Justin Baldoni, and it ends with us.
That was you're talking about Blake Lively, him against the girl.
Yeah, I have been getting way too into that story. That might be for its own podcast. But
I don't know that story. I just know there is a story, and I don't know the guts of it. But
the TLDR is Blake Lively sounds kind of like a bitch, and may have abused the fact that her best friend's Taylor Swift and her husband is Ryan Reynolds, and they have more power than God to really potentially abuse this dude.
So it was a dude, it was a guy, it was a girl.
So Justin Baldoni. I mean, this is a whole thing. My understanding.
You give me the cliff notes. You don't have to go deep.
TLDR. This Justin Baldoni guy. He's the guy who starred in the movie. He directed the It Ends With Us movie. He hires Blake Lively because okay, she's popular. People like her.
Yeah, sure.
She gets involved. Immediately seizes power like the emperor that she believes she is. They have a bunch of arguments on and off set about how to basically do the movie. He wants it to be this this drama about abuse and relationships, and she is trying to get money and make it basically a Barbie movie 2.0.
Oh Christ! Okay.
The subject matter is about an abusive relationship, which is what it was supposed to be about. So she doesn't read the script, anything like that. Ends up in this huge fight with Sony and everybody. She brings Ryan Reynolds, Taylor Swift in the mix. They basically say, we will destroy anyone that gets in our path. Scares the shit out of everybody. And then she comes across badly in interviews afterward because of how lightly she's taking the subject matter about it being about physical and mental abuse.
Sure.
People get mad at her and she goes, oh, That's not right. Be mad at this guy instead. So she starts accusing him of horrible things. And then he's like, bitch, I got receipts and you were horrible to me. And now all of it's coming out. And she's looking like a pretty not great person.
So she was. I'm pretty sure she was with Ryan Reynolds at the SNL 50 show, which was this past weekend. And he got up, and that was part of the joke. They had Tina Fey and who does Tina Fey work with all the time? The short
Amy
one.
Poehler.
Amy Poehler. So it was Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. They were up there, and they were taking questions from the audience. They went to Ryan Reynolds. They got up and they said, "How are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm fine." And what have you heard? And that was the punchline.
No, what have you heard? Yeah.
So, which was kind of funny, but I've read all about this. I don't care about either of the people involved.
It's just interesting
or the story, so I haven't read about it. But
we were in the car like a few months ago, or like during the holidays when this was all starting to come out, and like my sister and mom were, for whatever reason, on the two polar opposites of this topic, and they were just getting heated with each other. It's just me, my brother, and my dad in the car going, "Damn, was not expecting this to be the political conversation of the holidays." Okay, cool. It's just like, really? This is what's getting people heated?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was funny. I mean, they were civil, but it was just like, damn, people got opinions on this.
Yeah, I don't have enough interest to be involved, but now that I understand it, it makes the joke on SNL a little more funny.
Yeah, what have you heard?
So, you told me about we're talking about Lively and...
It sounds like Ryan Reynolds was very uncool to this guy, too, as well. Like, it really makes it seem like
I can't imagine that they're not.
Yeah, it sounds like he is aware.
And they're friends with
like,
Swift, and if you hear all the stories about Swift, she's like super nice to everybody's face, and she supposedly is a fucking nut job behind the scenes.
They are apparently very aware of their level of power, and they are not afraid to use it to like a like if the stories this guy said were true, fuck.
Yeah, it's why you say you always want to be famous. And I'm sure it's really fucking cool.
I bet it's great.
I bet it would be awesome, right? I would love to have the money. I would love to just hang out and party with other people that were like super, rich and fucking fun. But like I think probably after like a week, it'd be like a really long bachelor party where you're like, you know what? I'm kind of tired. Like I kind of want to get out of here.
Yeah, I'm kind of over this bullshit. Yeah,
yeah, I think. I mean, I'm not sure. And then probably you'd recharge your juices and you'd be ready to go in another month or two. Because like I'm looking at that SNL, both the SNL 50 concert on Friday night and then the SNL show on Sunday. They panned the crowds, and the crowds was like everybody who was everybody. And then when you first saw it, you're like, wow, that would be really fucking cool. I bet they're all going to like drink beers and fucking hang out afterward. And then
going to some sex parties, probably.
Yeah, going to a freak off or something.
Freaks, yeah.
But then like Andrew Dice Clay was there, and he shot all these pictures backstage of all these people, and they're just like laughing, and Dice is busting jokes, and I'm like, shit, dude, if I was standing right there and listening to Dice bust jokes like in my face, it would be fantastic. But after, then you watch it a second or a third time, and you're kind of like, okay, yeah, no, it was cool when I saw it the first time, but now it's like I want to go home. So I don't know. Maybe that is how reality is, being famous, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's super fucking cool all the time. But I mean, you hear stories like this with Lively and Swift, and
dude.
Like, oh fuck, it's like it's not reality.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for this. What the hell?
I just, at some point you just want to go away.
I mean, dude, when middle managers at like a McDonald's restaurant can get power trips, God knows what happens when you're.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I just found, because it's running about an hour here, so here were some of the things to wrap up Brave New World that were done in the rewrites or whatever. Serpent Society and the airport fight. Was there an airport fight?
The Serpent Society? Who the hell is that?
The Serpent Society was initially supposed to consist of 5 actually serpent-related supervillains led by Diamondback, who was initially played a similar role to Giancarlo Esposito's Sidewinder. The other notable mention of the team would have been King Cobra, played by well-known WWE wrestler Seth Rollins. Rollins' role in the film was given to, I don't know who this was, who played
There was some
Copperhead.
huge. There was that giant dude who like Captain America breaks the arm. I'm assuming it's that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The Serpent Society goon, which Sam had a hard time with. Yes, that was Copperhead. So Rollins was originally Copperhead. That would not have worked. But anyway, I guess those two were replaced by Sidewinder and Sidewinder's goons. And they have pictures and everything of Rollins and everybody on set. So
That's got to be a bummer.
Oh, man. That's one of the changes. The leader and his big head, the leader's look in the final cut of the film has been polarizing amongst fans, but that was also something that changed in reshoots. Tim Blake Nelson revealed 5 months ago that basically shot the movie twice because his scenes were indeed also shot again last summer. Because Marvel Studios decided to change the classic big head from the comics, which is supposed to be his cinematic look as well in the first cut of the film, to the one we all saw in the theatrical cut. So he used to have a big head, and then they changed it to
a more brainy look. He looked
like he had a brain on the outside of his head.
It looked like he was a monster from Last of Us, is what he looked like to me.
Yeah, he looked, and they have actual pictures, I guess, which are T-shirts that were going to be released, and it is basically the actor, but give him a big, thick head, and he had a full head of hair.
I'm literally just imagining Megamind. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, it is. It's very Megamind-ish. And that was it. And then he had like a beard, and he was like normal looking. He wasn't the alien-looking guy that we saw in the film, and I think I would have liked that infinitely more.
It's a weird decision to just be like, no, let's throw a couple more $1 million at this. Like, why?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Too cartoony for you? Yeah, okay.
Once again, according to this site, adamantium was supposed to be able to absorb gamma radiation in the original cut of the film. That would have been Cap's secret weapon to defeat Red Hulk, as he would have used adamantium to drain Ross of his power, which would eventually lead to his apparent death.
I was so sure, dude, that whole movie they were going to be like, oh, we need to upgrade the shield, and they were going to upgrade like the adamantium, that little bit they had in the canister from Japan. I was positive was going to get like infused in Cap's shield or something like that.
Yeah, and that would have made sense.
They did nothing with it.
No.
It's just like, yeah, this is here. Whatever.
Oh, but in the movie, remember, they also did this bullshit thing where you want to know that his vibranium is doing super cool shit. It turns purple.
Yeah.
It makes a noise and it turns purple. And then all of a sudden he unleashes all the energy that it takes, although they're never going to explain that to you in the movie. You're just going to have to assume it.
Captain America did that in the first Avengers movie. He absorbed Thor's hammer, and then the shield did that same thing. I don't know why I'm remembering that, but I remember he did that in the first movie.
That I don't remember. But this one, they make a point. But did it capture the energy and shoot it back? Or did it
definitely, he tried. He's like, put the hammer down. He's like, you want me to put the hammer down? And then he threw the hammer, and then like it ricocheted off his shield, and it was cool.
Well, I could be wrong in that. I just don't remember it. But also, that goes to your point that they just expect you to remember everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Right? So, let's see. The post-credit scene of the film would have featured Betty as well, because Betty comes back. She was CGI, right? I don't care what they say. She had to be CGI.
It was more so just like, this character, she doesn't talk to her dad for 20 fucking years, and then he gets shot. She doesn't call him. Like, she's the real villain of the movie. Screw the big-headed dude.
Yeah, for sure.
She's a monster.
Dude, they never even zoomed in on her fucking face. That's why I think it was... I don't think she was there. They said she was on set, but they didn't even show her.
She might have just been there, and they're like, do you want to do makeup? She's like, just don't zoom in. I don't care.
They didn't even go on the other side of the glass. Like, they were always on his side of the glass, or like the back of her head. You never saw her face.
It was just why include. I guess if you're an Incredible Hulk 2008 fan, which now I have to rewatch apparently, like, okay, cool. Why are you bringing her back?
Don't understand it at all. Revealed the post. One of the original post-scene credits featured Betty seeing fiery footsteps in her backyard, followed by Red Hulk's glowing red eyes before he vanished, revealing that he actually survived his battle with Sam Wilson. So
that would also have been kind of cool. But I think this is better. I think they're trying to like tie up because they have so many loose ends, dude. They have so many ridiculous loose ends that feel like they're not going anywhere. This was probably smarter.
yeah, there was something else in the original film. Sam never got the pills he found that Stern's cell investigated. Then in the reshoots, they decided to redo it, and they added in Amadeus Cho. I don't know. That's played by Logan Kim. Finds out the red pills are gamma radiation. Who fuck gives a shit?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And then Ruth's mutant powers. According to the person who watched the original test video.
Oh, yeah, the Israeli girl who's a Black Widow. So she's like a superhero, and then like the rumor is because there's a couple things going on with Israel right now, they have to change around her dealio a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they said. Well, so there's a midget girl who is a Black Widow.
Was she a midget? Like she was very small.
She was very small. She was I mean, maybe she was a dwarf midget. I don't. Whichever one is proportionally correct. But
I'm very curious. Yeah.
Yeah, and she was another. Who the hell is this chick? And they don't define her. And then she seems like she's going to be bad, but then she's on their side, and it's not really talked about.
She's literally the exact same art that Black Widow went on. This is her.
Yeah, just
her
done.
name is Sabra, Israeli actress. She's 29. She did not look
Wow,
that.
that's weird. That's weird because she did not look that.
No, she did not. That is very rude of me to say.
Her name is Ruth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this one, it says Ruth had mutant powers and used them to stop Isaiah after he attempted to assassinate Ross, as well as to stop the brainwashed guards in the Echo 1 base.
She's 5'2". She looks so much smaller than that. I don't know.
Yeah. Then after the fight, she talked to Sam about how she had those powers since she was a young child. So, and
I like the Black Widow thing better. That was cooler to me than another super powered moron running around. I don't know. That was fine.
For sure. That it's like, oh, another one that we didn't know about.
Yeah, it makes the world seem like more like I like it more. That's like, oh, there's more Black Widows running around. It's not just Scarlett Johansson.
Right.
Yeah, okay,
that was those scenes were removed, and after reshoots, they made Ruth a regular ex-Black Widow. So those were some of the things from the original movie. But as you can tell from our conversation and what we just read, I mean, the movie, there's probably 5 different versions of the movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
Although I don't think they're going to be screaming for the original cut of this movie.
No, Zack Snyder wasn't involved, so we're good. I mean, it's not Rebel Moon, dude. We don't need to watch the 8-hour cut. They have that.
They finish with this. Is there any chance that they shoot another Captain America with Sam Wilson?
Not anytime soon. I mean, dude, this one was just. I mean, even if this movie does well, which, like, according to the budget they're reporting, it's technically breaking it. Even though I'm sure it's
second week drop off is going to be
bad.
Like off of,
and
like
word of mouth
Canyon.
favors. The reshoots, dude, are what's going to kill this movie because like they're saying it was like 200-ish million to make. Like my guess, it was 300 to 400 million. And, like, you got to make a massive return to make those numbers. Like, there's no, like, breaking even is going to be a fucking stretch.
Yeah, I don't think it breaks even. I think that this is another, right? Like, Quantumania also didn't break even, right? Quantumania was another.
Okay. Captain America Brave New World, not great. Once again, I'm going to say very mid movie overall. I do it like 5 out of 10, maybe a 6. Quantumania fucking sucked ass. That movie was atrocious.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I stand by that. I think that was so much worse.
That was terrible. The only thing worse than that was when Karen flushed all the cocaine down the toilet in Goodfellas.
Yeah,
because why would you do that? And then you'd stick a 9mm in your panties like it's gonna fucking hide them. It's like you're not hiding that. You should have taken the gun and tried to flush the gun and kept the coke in your panties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would have been much smarter.
That would have been much smarter.
Someone's using their head in this podcast.
I can't help. I always throw something on the TV in front of me while Will and I do our show, and I just looked up and it was the part where Karen in Goodfellas is flushing all the coke. Why did you do that, Karen? I wish the director of this movie was Karen. I'd be saying the same thing. Why would you do this? But again, back to movies, whether or not they continue this one, I just can't see it. I feel like this is the end of Captain America. Like, the only time you see Captain America again is when they're in either of the Avengers movies. But you will never see another Captain America movie. I think this one did it in.
It's gonna be a hot minute, dude. It's gonna depend on how desperate they are. It's just crazy they're taking movies that were literally 17 years ago, and now they're like, now we'll do the sequel. It's like, bro,
Right.
the ship sailed ages ago. What do you mean you're trying to connect Eternals and like the Incredible Hulk to a Captain America movie? What? Why?
You
What
needed
is-
something simple. You needed stones of different colors
Yeah,
that went into a glove.
it was so
One for
much
each
easier.
knuckle.
Or even just have your celestial plot, but like do something different. I don't know. I mean, you can have your brain guy, but like, I don't know. There's
But
ways to do it.
I
This was just
feel like you need an established end. You need everybody to understand where you're going.
yeah. Well, they had it, and it was name was Kang, and then he's kind of
It's true.
under arrest.
But nobody really understood Kang either.
He
Right.
would have been. They may have been able to do something cool, but then the first movie with Ant-Man, dude, he gets his ass beat by fucking Ant-Man. They could have had him kill Paul Rudd, but Paul Rudd like buys him time, and you'd be like, "Oh shit, everyone loves Paul Rudd. This guy killed Paul Rudd. I hate this guy." And he like easily just killed Paul Rudd without blinking an eye. But Paul Rudd saved us.
But
We gotta watch these other movies, to make sure Paul Rudd's sacrifice wasn't in vain. And
remember, it was a big Usual Suspects twist ending, supposedly. That when Ant-Man goes back to his reality,
that's not what happened.
it is
That's
not
not what
his
happened.
reality.
It's not what happened. Nope, that's too hopeful.
And
That's
he's
too
in a
I-
different reality, and that is the big punchline.
Big if true, dude. But it's not true
But
because the
it'll
writers
never
are
be
not smart
true
enough.
because Kang
The
is no
writers-
longer. I mean, I understand that the actor gets busted, and I think now he's married to that girl that he supposedly
Aw.
hit or whatever. So
Good
we
for
really
him.
can't- Yeah, they had everything in it best.
Good for him. What a guy.
But like, just recast it and fucking shoot more. Yeah, don't tell me that nobody can touch Jonathan Majors as an actor. There are plenty of actors out there
Oh yeah.
that could do what Jonathan Majors did.
They
Come
brought
on,
Shia LaBeouf back from Megalopolis, dude.
Just-
yeah.
just put somebody else in there and stick with the plan. The fact that they just bailed with it, they bailed from it, and they were like, you know what, we were looking for an out anyway, and now we got one. And now they're just not going to talk about Kang at all anymore.
Cowards. Yeah.
Or supposedly, I think they said they were thinking about signing somebody off so that he could get killed in Doomsday.
Okay.
Is that the?
I don't know. Yeah, whatever is coming out. They got like 4 different ones. I know Downey Jr. has apparently come back. We all know that. We talked about that.
Yeah, he's going to be Doom. It's just on.
We'll see. I'm hopeful for the Thunderbolts. There's like 2 other Marvel movies they announced at that screening, and I forgot the other 2. I only remember Thunderbolts. That was
Well,
the
there's Doomsday, Secret Wars. Those are both Avenger movies, so they'll feature everybody. There's also Thunderbolts. There's also the first of the next Spider-Man trilogy. What else?
So these are ones that because there's other 2 more coming out this year that I don't remember about.
This year?
This year.
Oh yeah,
Is it-
Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, okay, that was it. Yeah,
Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, right?
I think there's one more, right? Or am I making that up?
That I think you're making that up. Marvy movie schedule. It's easy to pull up, but no, I do think it's only.
I feel like they moved really fast in this Fantastic Four one. I feel like I heard about it like 2 days ago, and all of a sudden, Pedro Pascal's now Mr. Fantastic. They have a trailer.
Nah, they've been doing that one for a while. So this one, that's the new animated. There's a new Spider-Man animated series that is supposed
that
to be
was
pretty
cool.
good. I haven't watched any of it yet. There is Devil Born Again. That is a TV show. Thunderbolts.
Oh, Ironheart. Oh my God.
Oh, no, Ironheart. It's got to be a show, right? It's a show.
Yeah, it's a show. It's a show.
Okay, thank God.
It's gonna. Apparently, they are not excited.
God, remember
for
when we talked about that? That was so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they shelved that shit because everybody
Well,
hated it.
apparently they have to release it now for some reason, and they're just not thrilled about it. So they're just going to quietly launch it.
Yeah, so that's going to be in the summer. So that'll be
Stay tuned for that podcast.
Ironheart. Sony has something in June, part of the Spider-Man universe. That's not happening anymore. Fantastic Four for Steps. That is end of July. And let's see. Eye of Wakanda. What the hell? Animation.
Whatever.
That's animation. Marvel Zombies. That's an animated series. Wonder Man, that's got to be.
I don't care.
I don't care either. And so then the next Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, that one's coming out at some point. Spider Noir, that's going to be the Nick Cage one.
Oh boy, that's a lot of nonsense. All right,
well, they got nothing. So there isn't anything worthwhile other than those 2 movies. And then
we'll see.
Next summer will be Avengers Doomsday, which how do you pull that off?
We'll see.
I mean, if you think about it, what are they going to have? They're going to have 3 movies until Doomsday, right? It's going to be Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man. That's it.
And then they'll make all the characters kiss each other, and that's their new phase.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. I mean, now it's going on and on because I'm just about to go into how they're going to pull off Doomsday.
Yeah, that's next time. Next
time here. So, all right. Well, good talking to you, buddy. All the best. Try not to get too deep in the Below Deck reruns.
Woo!
They're not bad though. We'll chew the fat on those.
I get it. I get why people like it.
So we'll chew the fat on those down the road. Anyway,
that's next time. Yeah, 90 Day Fiance next episode. Let's do it.
Until then, maybe White Lotus next time. We'll see.
Oh, that was
all
good.
right. Everybody, catch up on your White Lotus and all the other content out there. You never know where we're going to go, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.
Woo.